So we were supposed to get job numbers tomorrow, but that looks like that's not going to happen as we are currently in a government shutdown, as you know. Essentially, Trump is able to hide the economic data from you by keeping everything closed. And at the moment, these are the headlines. Traders scour private data to gauge U.S. jobs slowdown amid BLS turmoil. BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? If you remember the last time they reported numbers, it was so bad that Trump had the head fired because he was like, I don't want bad numbers. I don't want people to see how bad my economy is. You're fired, right? And then what Trump does, he tries to bring in his own incompetent person. And that's the only type of people that will work for Trump: incompetent, unethical, immoral, these kind of things. And they ended up withdrawing that person. So it says White House withdraws EJ Antoni's nomination to lead the BLS. So we have a government shutdown, so no job numbers from the government. We don't even have a head of the BLS. We'll see how that goes. They haven't even announced who's going to theoretically be the next head now that they pulled one nomination. Says White House says new pick to lead BLS coming very soon. That was yesterday. They said that. I have not heard who they're going to pick. And the problem is, as I've told you guys before, if you work for the Trump administration, you're basically hired to be on the TV show. And what's the TV show? Lied to the American people, right? You're an actor, lied to the American people about how great things are. The thing is, at the end of the day, after Trump, comes and goes, because he's going to go, is your name's going to be on whatever documents that Trump asks you to lie about or whatever. And I'm telling you guys, just giving you good advice, don't tie your career to Trump. Do not follow illegal orders. It'll come back to bite not only you, but the country, the whole world. And I know it may seem like, oh, wow, Trump promised me, Trump crypto coin if I go along with the game. But I'm telling you guys, that kind of stuff is worthless. At the end of the day, Trump does not care about you. And I think a lot of people are going to find out the hard way regarding tying your careers, lives, etc. And you could talk about soul too as well to Trump. It won't end well. Now what's going on? They're hiding essentially the government, job numbers from you. Now they want to fire as many people as possible. So we don't know exactly how bad the economy is, but I think you guys get a sense of what it is. You go to the store, your experiences in the job market from, your own personal searches, your friends' searches, etc. You know how people are talking at work, whether or not they're firing, not firing, on hold. This is this part of the whole understanding everything, right? And if they do indeed, and I think they may announce it tomorrow, cut a bunch of government departments, permanently lay off as many people as possible, it's going to have ripple effects throughout the economy. On top of that, this was interesting. It just came out today, just going over some numbers that we do know. Youth unemployment is going up, and also black unemployment is going up. We've seen these numbers before, and we just kind of know it's going in that direction. Essentially, and they just picked these two particular groups because Trump did a little bit better this time around than previous times. But when things really sour for that new, let's say, voter class that voted for Trump, and not everyone, right? So it's not like every young person voted for Trump or every black person voted for Trump. It's more like just he got more than before. The idea, though, is that when they're hit by the economy, the Trump economy hit hard, right? Things are going to sour. And something that you always want to know in politics, and this is just simple advice, it's the economy, stupid, right? That's what you should be talking about. Jobs, economy, things, and be honest with people. I think the worst thing, and there's a lot of things that Trump does is worse, but we'll say one of the worst things that they do is just frankly lie nonstop and tell you you're all winning all the time. It's just not the case. For example, this was interesting. This was in the Wall Street Journal, and I know things are ugly out there in LA. The reason why we're talking about the entertainment industry, because Trump was saying, I'm going to put 100% tariffs on, foreign movies. But it's like, you have to understand that we're all connected in this. So it's hard to do any production these days where it's like 100% only filmed in USA. Just many productions are all around the world, and it's all tied together. However, with that said, LA is really struggling, right? So this is just one. So I showed you like there's youth unemployment is going up, black unemployment is going up. Some big cities like LA is really struggling. It says LA's entertainment economy is looking like a disaster movie. They had this chart in the Wall Street Journal. Basically, it was just showing like soundstage occupancy. So say back in 2016, you're like in the 90%, right? So basically work. Now and today, you're barely over 60%. So that is a major loss of work. Just the media landscape is changing, and then essentially what it ends up being is people start fighting for jobs, kind of like a Squid Game kind of thing, to where you view your fellow coworkers as the enemy, and I have to eliminate said enemy. I understand that this stuff gets very sensitive when we talk about these things, because you have your favorite shows and stuff like that. And I talk about this stuff on the channel, and people get upset when I mention it, but I just want to tell you the truth on this stuff. Yes, I agree that the Jimmy Kimmel stuff with the FCC was definitely about free speech, and definitely Trump was looking to exert control over media, these kind of things. And if you say something that Trump doesn't like, then it's like he'll try to boot you out. But I also want to mention that much of this stuff is a dying industry, right? And things are changing. And it's a really tricky landscape because people are moving more to social media, to streaming, etc. Literally, you're watching me on YouTube, and this is just a whole other world that we're in. So I mentioned that is because it's just sort of a representation of how opportunities are changing, and essentially you're fighting over less and less amounts of pie. So, for example, lately, Elon Musk is telling everyone to boycott Netflix, which is an American company, but you have to put it in context. Elon Musk has Twitter X, and basically from Elon's point of view, he wants you all on Twitter/X watching social media. Basically, that's what he wants you to do all day, every day. So of course he's going to attack Netflix. Of course he's going to attack the mainstream media news. Of course he is, these kind of things. He wants you watching Twitter. The problem is going to be, though, of course, if you spend all day, every day on Twitter, Elon Musk will control the algorithm, so you'll see all a bunch of right-wing stuff and all sorts of not safe for work stuff, and any number of things that are on Twitter. As you guys know, it's just a loony tunes, loony house, whatever you want to call it, all day, every day, and that's essentially the kind of the world we're going into already. And even recently, we had politicians arguing about, and this is in the USA, about sombreros. That is literally a discussion right now. It is so ridiculous. I talked about it in my last video. And so while people are arguing over that, and again, people are struggling over jobs, and I talked about LA, the entertainment, talked about Black and youth unemployment. Farmers are also struggling due to Trump's policies, and now he's saying, I'm going to give them $10 billion. And I think it was even as high as $14 billion is what they're talking about. And what this whole thing amounts to being, again, it's like a Squid Game, and then you have various industries and groups fighting with each other for that Trump prize. And Trump, from his point of view, see, I got all the money, you just got to pay me whatever bribes, I will then funnel money to you, and then I'll tax other people. And it's just a completely corrupt system of what he's got going on. And it's not about efficiency, it's not about hiring the best people to do the job. It's not about running the economy smoothly. It's about making Trump rich and putting money in his pockets. And if you try to call him out on said things, he'll push you out, right? Or ask you to do illegal things. You're just like, I don't want to be part of that, and you'll resign. This is the latest. So it says firings and resignations, Royal U.S. Attorney's Office prosecuting Comey. And there are a lot of people out there which completely see what's going on with Trump. So I always want to let you know that don't think that everyone's a MAGA and a Trumper person, right? A lot of people can see the corruption that's happening and don't want to have any part of it. The problem is, it's like, how long can we withstand these Trump attacks on America as he tries to burn down everything? And it's something that I always talk about with you is how can we get the MAGA people to see the truth of how awful that he is? It is really tough. It is really tough to talk to them. I see it in comments. I see how you guys explain, dealings with MAGA people in your life. Effectively what it is, and it just boils down to a simple truth. There's a lot of MAGA people out there who have cultish type beliefs. There's a lot of racist elements in this stuff also, which is very difficult to overcome, especially for people who live in certain types of communities that don't have much contact to the outside world, and they just believe everything they see on Fox News. And it's very, very difficult to deal with that kind of stuff. And the thing that I think that worries me the most about any of this Trump stuff is whenever I see the Trump people, on TV or otherwise, and I show it to you guys, they're just angry all the time. They're angry people. They don't care about your fellow citizens. You can tell the way they talk about firing people. They talk about it, with glee and happiness that they're firing everyone. They just don't care about regular people. And now we're starting wars, and who knows where. I mean, right now, there's like just today we're talking about armed conflict against, cartels in Venezuela, right? Or before we're bombing Iran or whatever. I mean, I can't even keep track. And so I mean, I follow this stuff all the time, and it's hard for me to keep track of all of the conflicts that Trump is starting, or all of the conflicts of interest or money laundering, right? And if someone says, because someone wrote in the comments today, like, why is Trump building a ballroom? He can't even dance. I thought it was pretty funny, but I'll just say this. When in doubt, if you're not sure what Trump is up to, put the pieces together, follow the money, and you'll realize, wow, this really is all a grift for him and how to put more money in his pocket. And the thing I want you to really think about here is go back to this one, is I think this BLS story, that's why I talked about the jobs first, is one of the main stories right now, because the big question going forward is, will we turn into the situation where they just lie nonstop, right? Which we know they do, but like even push the lies further, or will it be completely cut off communication from everyone, and then we just don't know what's going on? And it's in authoritarian regimes, it could go a couple different ways. You could also do both, but that's sort of what the strategy that I'm looking at, and how many people are going to go along with and want to work with the Trump people, because at the end of the day, again, you're going to have to sign your name onto the illegal things that Trump is doing. And I'm just telling you guys, it's not worth it. It's too much damage to the country, too much damage to yourself, your reputation. And this is something that I wonder as well for Americans watching is, do people of good faith and of good honor, are they willing to stand up and oppose Trump? Because for me, this isn't really about left, right, or Democrat, Republican. It's about serving the Constitution and the people. And you will know in your heart, right, if you have good honor and good faith to do the right thing. So I do appreciate your time, everyone. Please be careful out there, and I'll catch you all in the next video.